All right, so we have another oldie here, and this transmission is a 3-speed cast iron Cruise-O-Matic for a 1956 T-Bird. All right, so what the deal is with this transmission is we have a client that is an automotive exporter. So when he needs transmissions and transfer cases for his clientele, he calls us and we get it for him. We overhaul the transmission, maybe detail it to how he wants it done, and we deliver the transmission to his warehouse. So we get a call from him and he says, I need a transmission for a 1956 T-Bird, do your research and let me know what you come up with. So I really didn't get involved in any of this because it's so busy here, but the manager and the lead mechanic were going back and forth. So the manager gave the information to the lead mechanic, whose name is Gary also, and he does his thing on the computer, and within 15 minutes he came up with where there is one located. I think there's only one. I think all we can find is one. And it was somewhere in the Midwest. So we called the place, and sure enough, he said, I've had this transmission on my shelf inside since 2018, and we arranged for freight to pick it up. I helped with that, with the freight, but they did everything else. And about a week and a half later, here is the transmission. So I've never done one of these before. Well, we're gonna open it up, but I'm hoping that my uncle would be available in case I get stuck. I don't even know what it's gonna look like when we open it. It may be in great shape, but I do have an overhaul kit. I was talking to my rep at TransStar, and I says, by the way, do you have I got a 56 T-Bird, Cruise-O-Matic, I says, medium case as they call it, and I says, do you have an overhaul kit? He goes, yeah, I got one here. All right, send it. So I got my overhaul kit. I don't know what else I'm gonna need, but when we open, this is very similar to like an FMX, which is also a 3-speed. So we should see 2 bands and 2 sets of clutches. One band intermediate, the front band and rear band reverse. The front set of clutches, if it's set up the way I think it is, you have the forward clutch and you have the direct clutch, which would be third. So we're gonna open this up, see what we find. If you can see these things on the side here, this is air cooled. There's no cooler line, so they have these little ducts here to suck the air in to keep everything cool. So I think what we're gonna do here first is we're gonna take these 4 bolts out and take the pump out, and then we're gonna take the bell housing off. Again, I have if you saw the video on the 2-speed Ford-O-Matic, I was using my Chilton book, dated 1969. So this transmission is in here, and it's basically a cast iron 3-speed, a Cruise-O-Matic, or they call it a Ford-O-Matic or Cruise-O-Matic. Where they actually, let me go back to page where it starts. So it's cast iron 3-speed, transmission automatic Cruise-O-Matic, or Merc-O-Matic, I guess maybe they are similar. So, but the overhaul kit says it's a Cruise-O, as we call it. So, I'm gonna get a little closer. We'll start tearing this down or chunking it down. Anytime we get something for this guy, he's pretty hot for it because he needs to get it to his client. So I want to, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, so maybe I can just chunk this thing down, put it on the other bench. In case we need parts for it, I can get parts for it. At least it'll be a part if he's calling while working on it. So let me get a little closer and we will start taking this down. So I guess what we're gonna do is take the pump out, take the bell housing off. I might have to flip this thing, take the pan off, maybe the valve bodies to release the band struts and stuff, and take the rest of it. I'm not really sure if some of this will come out this way or if it'll come out this way, but I guess we shall see. So again, I'm going to ask you to bear with me here. I've never worked on one of these. I did take the speedometer out. This was the speedometer in the extension housing. So that I have out. And I have all my SAE sockets laid out that I think I'm going to need. So let's tear it down, see where we go. Okay. So, all right, let me get these 4 bolts out here. Because the belt housing bolts from the back, and I can see them here, and probably 2 more down here, so this pump is going to have to come out first. I don't know how easy that's going to come out. But let's see if we can get it to move. Move it in there. All right, so I had this puller here, but it won't fit in here. It's a little too small, which I thought it would be. But I was working a little bit, and I got it moved out about halfway. Oh, okay. I was just kind of hitting it back and forth, up and down to loosen it. So now we got it. Okay, here's the pump. So we'll open this, take a look at that. All right, now, I'm going to take this belt housing off. So let me just get this one bolt out. I kind of loosened all these just to make it go a little quicker. These are 5/8 back here. Here's the housing. So now everything's going to come out the back because I'm looking at this here. All right, and here is a very heavy, wow, belt housing, and there are your air ducts there to keep this thing air cooled. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's get this extension housing, let's see what we got here. We're going to take this cover off. The governor is behind that to give you a little access. I guess maybe if the governor hangs up, you don't have to pull the whole extension housing off. So let's take that off and just kind of see what we got. Turn the output shaft. Yeah, there's the counterweight, and then if you go over here, the governor, which actually is free, you can just pull right out, taking the 2 bolts out. All right, let's get this extension housing off. Sure, this is going to probably have a rear pump as well. All right, so this is probably like a 9/16. Okay, there's the extension. We got some feed tubes here. You know how this comes apart. All right, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna flip this thing up. Everything's gonna come out the back. So let's just flip this thing up here and get the pan down. Because right here, everything is already moving, but the tubes are holding all this stuff in. And I can break, there's a couple of bolts here that could break it probably to get the outlet checked out, but let's take a look here. All right, so what I'm gonna do before I flip it, we got 2 bolts here for the center support. Let's get this out. Get this out. Okay. Here's the adjustment for the rear band. The adjustment for the other band is probably inside. Glue looks fairly clean. Oh boy. Okay. It's cherry red. All right. Switch it up to a 1/2 inch. Where is my 1/2 inch? Okay. All right, the stick would normally go right in here. I think they sent one, but they must be over where with the converter. I think I'll show you the converter too. Yeah, so here's the adjustment for the front band here, which I figured it was inside. Okay. So we're going to take this lock off here, and this will get our filter out. All right, so pretty much got your regulator assembly, intermediate servo, reverse servo, valve body. And we got to get all the tubes out, but so this will have to go in as a set. This is similar, you know, to, like I said, FMX and stuff, but this will come out, get that tube out. I just want to take a shot of this, just so I see how it goes back. Okay. All right. All right, so let's get these tubes out here. Take this regulator assembly out and get this tube out. I'm not sure. This goes all the way to the bottom, it looks like. Now, it looks like it's a pretty straight run to the bottom. Let's see. tube. All right, so these can't come out until we take that out. We'll take one of these pieces out. So, we have the pipe with a filter. To get that, I'll be able to get the back out. Okay, there was an O-ring on that as well. Okay, so let's get this regulator assembly out. What we're going to have to do is unhook, take the springs out, because there is another bolt here. So I'm going to push this forward. All right, let's bring it up closer. Push this forward, bring it up. There we go. Okay, big springs here. Okay. So I'm going to take you got the spring and like a seat in here. I'm going to take this spring and seat out, or spacer out. Now we have room to get the bolt out. The valves I'll leave right in. Let's see if I can get an impact socket in there. I'm not sure I can. I might need to go find a chrome. It's a little tight. Not sure if I can get this. No. Nope. All right. Let me see what I got in chrome. I'll be right back. Okay, I found. I have a 1/4 inch 7/16 chrome, so I put it on the adapter and a little extension. There we go. Okay, so just those 2 bolts. This will come right off. Each has a lock washer on it. Okay. Now, we're going to take, we got 3 bolts here. Let's take these out. See if it loosens up the body. Yeah, it did, okay. Right now we got these. This is what, 5/8? 9/16. 9/16, okay. So for the intermediate band, you gotta put a lot of like grease on the strut because it's kind of down in here, and then put everything on and catch the band that way. Okay. And we'll just lift right out of the manual valve. Okay. Nice. Okay. All right, so here's the valve body. Let's get this other tube out. That tube will go there. All right, here is the strut. And the thicker end goes on the actuator. So you got to bring the band up. It'll go in here. So now this is free. All right. Now let's get the reverse band. This also acts as the center support. Bolt and the regular bolt. That is probably 5/8. Yes. I think sometimes I've seen these cases crack on other ones. See, here is the other center support bolt with the little tip on the end. Okay. Get that out. There was that strut. So you got one with a little notch in it, which goes towards the band. Okay. Well, there is another strut for the band anchor here. So that goes with that. Okay. Now, pretty much everything should just slide out to a certain extent. These tubes here are holding it, and there's also a rear pump in there as well. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's take this out. It'll release the tubes. I'm going to take this out here, maybe about a 7/16. We'll get rid of that, and then maybe we can slide this thing apart. Got it. All right, so there is that. Feeds into here. That, of course, will be fixed once, you know, this is bolted to it. Oh. Almost forgot. Almost forgot. Another tube in here. Okay, here we go. Now this will come apart. All right, so this one has an O-ring on it also. Here is the rear pump. The tubes go in, both tubes go in here in the rear pump. You know, something's a trans-type gasket. Somebody overhauled this thing already. Okay, we're gonna get this planted out. Okay, planetary. You got a washer here, washer inside there. We can get this band out. now we can get the rest of the unit apart. Reverse band. Here's the center support where those bolts go. This actually goes that way. Okay, so this is going to go on here. And this should slide out. Okay. Do the band. Intermediate band, okay. So the case is stripped. So let me get rid of some of this oil here. I'm going to get rid of the case, put it on the other bench. And we can take a look at the pump, we can take a look at the clutches, and I guess that's really about it. At least I got it apart, know what I got to do. I'll probably put a kit in it, a couple of bands, and this will be done. Okay, let me straighten up here. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's separate this. This is the forward drum here, so I'm going to just pull this right out. Okay, and we're going to open that through this way. We've got a washer here. This sits up against the front of the case. Okay, now, sometimes you got to take the rings off to get this apart, which I probably do. Okay, so we have two sealing rings here that I'm going to take out to separate this shaft from the direct drum. Whoop. All right, that broke, but I got an overhaul kit. I'm putting it in anyway. That's what it looks like. It's just kind of open end. All right, so we'd have to feed it through and then put the rings on. So now this will slide out. Okay, we have a washer here. We got two more sealing rings here, two more here, and the two that I took out. Okay, and then we have two washers. These have flats on it, so this is going to go on first. That will not turn, and then this one will go on. Okay, so again, the washer with the flats will go on first. Just find the spot, and then. All right, let's take a look at these direct clutches. So this is third gear. These look like they are the metal frictions. Here, I probably have to move all this stuff out of the way. Then I'm going to take this apart, put an O-ring, put new O-rings in, new seals in. We got a bearing there, and the intermediate intermediate band right here. Okay, forward clutch. I'll take this off. Then we're going to have a hub in there, and the clutches. Washer here, washer here. Here is the hub. Okay, very nice. And this has like a Belleville return spring. So we'll take that out, take the piston out, new O-rings. Okay, this is good, no ring grooves. Okay. Not bad. All right, let's take a look at the pump. There's the pump O-ring. And for that, just gotta pump body's gonna drop. Stator up. And that looks good, looks good. Body and gears. You got a bearing. I'm sorry, a bushing. All right, and we got a step here that's going to face down. Here's the other outer pump gear. This stuff looks fine. I'm going to do a bushing seal there. Okay. That's that. So again, I'm not really going to take any of this apart because I don't really have to. This is a rear pump back here. I'm going to probably just take the governor out just to make sure it's free, which you can see the valve is free. You know, it's pretty clean. Okay, this here, again, we got a washer here, and you got to just watch your rings. All right, so here is the reverse servo. Now, if you wanted to change the seals in here, which I'm going to do, you got to take this arm out. So there's a roll pin in here. So you got to knock the roll pin out, which will take the cross pin out. You can get the arm out, and then you can take the snap ring out. It'll pop up, put new seals in, and back together. Okay, the intermediate, you don't need to take the arm off, just the snap ring. Take it apart with new seals. And here is your little valve body, little throttle valve here. Manual valve, feed tubes. Well, this thing is tiny compared to what you see now. Just did a service on a 10 R8, you gotta see that thing. Which is a 10-speed. Okay, so that is it. Well, it went a lot better than I thought it would, you know. It's been years, again, since I did one, but I guess when you kind of start taking it apart, and I had a feeling it was going to be similar to an FMX, which I also haven't done in years, but I've done enough of those back in the day, you know, in the 80s, down at we were at our old location, and we would do those all the time. So, this is medium case, 3-speed, Cruise-O-Matic. It is for a 1956 T-Bird, or as they call it, a cast iron Cruise-O. 1956 T-Bird. So I'm gonna put a kit in this. Probably, you know, during the week I'll work on it. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna clean everything up because this guy, he's got some high-end clientele, and this thing has got to be, you know, very, very clean. So we're probably gonna wash it up in the tank, and we're probably gonna maybe give it some form of a detail. But we might even give the bell housing and extension housing and case and stuff to my manager as a sandblast machine at home, and then we can repaint it, you know, a nice color, because he wants these things, you know, showroom when we deliver it to him, which is what we do. Transfer cases, old transmissions. I mean, every speck of dirt is off of it, and it's painted. So that's what he likes. So that's what we got to do. All right, again, medium case Cruise-O, 1956 T-Bird. I'm going to do a quick overhaul on it. You know, I'll get clutches and stuff. They're the metal ones here. So, I mean, these are good. I mean, these things here, you know, they're middle friction discs, but these things are like new. But I want to at least get new rubbers in, probably put new bands in. You know what, let me put you guys on hold. Let me go get the converter. I'll show you what the converter looks like. I'll be right back. All right, here is a look at the converter out of that 56 T-Bird transmission, that medium case Cruise-O. So we split it open because we're going to be changing the O-ring. So here is the O-ring, and pretty much here's all the studs and the nuts that hold it together. And I just marked where not to put one, so when they want to bolt it up to the engine, you know, it'll bolt up no problem. So I marked, there's 4 holes that stay blank, so that's where the converter bolts will go. So here is the front half. The pump goes in here. All right, so I put a new bushing in the pump there. So the pump will go in here. Okay, and then we have our, here's the stator, and this has the sprig in it. Okay, it turns one way and locks the other. Okay, and then this part here, there's no washers here in between. Okay, there is a washer here. And then, let me just clean here. And then this cover, I gotta line everything up. And then this cover will go on here. And the new O-ring, I'm going to stretch across here like that. So that is what this looks like. I marked the front half and I marked this half. So I'm going to just kind of line everything up and put all the studs and the nuts back, tighten everything up, and this thing will be good to go. This transmission, I gotta finish it up tomorrow morning because we gotta deliver this thing probably in the afternoon. But I got it all done. I pretty much got it all done. Let me just get you on that unit there. So that's it here. Excuse the other parts around it. Parts to a Honda transmission that I just finished. But here is the extension housing that we finished. That's all detailed. Here is the pan. The paint's actually still drying a little bit. So just got to put the pan on, the extension housing with the rear seal. I'm going to put the bell housing on, that's on the other side. Once the bell housing is on, I can put the pump on with the 4 bolts and put the converter in, and you know, it won't take me long at all. Maybe take me an hour to finish this thing up. So that is all. Once again, there is a shot of the torque converter. So I'm going to take this back apart again. Here is the O-ring that I got from the trade store. So that'll go like this. This will go like this, and I'm just going to leave it here. And that's it. I'm going to turn this back over, let the paint finish. Well, the paint's pretty much dry on this. We painted this earlier today. All right, just a quick look at this torque converter on this 56 T-Bird transmission, this medium case Cruise-O. Once again, thanks for watching.